Hey, it's the 10th of February, 2020 26. I hope everyone's had a good day, trading day. Um, of course, I had an eventful day, as usual. It's the markets, and yeah, not a big deal for me. I think it was I made a few key decisions actually in this market today, but we should look into it actually today. And I hope you all traded well. You are well, and you had a good day. Like myself, it's something happens every day in this market. Like I keep saying, um, but it's all about how we see the market. We'll probably see different way, but anyway, as I was saying, so is tech still unloved? Is tech back? Yesterday we had a bounce on Friday, and I asked a key question. I said, are we now in a V-shaped recovery? But before we do that, let's look at the cues. What does the cues tell us? What did I say? I said, you got to look at it in two ways. There's a very long term vision, which is great. And there's a very short, there's a short vision. Short term is in, people look at the chart different ways, but this is quite important. What are you trying to see? Number one, is it giving you what you're trying to see? Number two, and number three, do not impose your view on the chart because otherwise, whatever you try to see on the computer you find. That's the thing. So, whatever you want, it should jump out at you. If you're struggling to see, then it's probably not there. Now, where was I? So yesterday I was looking at the cues, and what did I say? I said the cues is stuck in the range, and you can see that clearly. The cues is stuck in the range. So, again, on a mid-term view, you can see not a lot happening. So we're still trapped. So, it's quite interesting. 2 weeks ago we had a huge dump in the market, and everyone thought, no, the world is falling apart. But I said, it doesn't look out of place. Really, it doesn't look out of place. We had a few dumping, but generally for me, as far as I'm concerned, as far as I could see, this doesn't look out of place. Again, if you look at the cues of the weekly, we are still very much trapped, if you allow me to say, since November last year, we are still there. And so, we are trading within that range bound. So if you know what you're doing, fine. If you want to be very superly aggressive, all good to you as well. But today, what did we say? Something interesting happened today. I think personally, I've been broadening out, though I took out I don't know, I sold. Been talking about Dow for a while. I think it was a good 30% there, and you can see this breaking out, and I just went out of it recently. It's done amazing. It's another one I mean as well. Decided to just consolidate my position, and I'll tell you why in a minute. Again, CBRL, which is not exactly great, but what do? We play the price action, and you can see it broke out of this range or level. Now, quite a few companies which we probably should look into. Look, Unity. Unity had an upgrade today. And of course, it went up. Do not forget, this is a company that went from 52 in the December all the way to 29 now. It dumps us below us about 25 in 2 months in January. So it went from about 52 to less than 25 or just about 25 in 2 months. This is not impressive at all. And this you could say it's a victim of what's going on to the IGV, I think. The software sector, if you don't mind me talking about that. Yeah. So it's a victim of what's happening. I mean, if you look at the IGB, this is just everything's been collapsing. But it kind of gave you the warning. You could say that's the double top, that's a long double top there, and it crashed. So that's a key level right there for tech. And again, people tend to think the market is random. Yes, it's quite random, but to an extent, you could actually see. Look at that. There's the bid has been there, and that's number one. Number two, right there, right there. We could see the double top, which has been printed on a weekly, and that's been telling you. So tried to break it, and then it collapsed. And these are the essence of what we're seeing. We've got something, a market that's been extremely bloated, overvaluation. We're talking, market trading on multiple, on multiples really, which even though I think you can't, I personally can't. I can't support this kind of market, especially when we're looking at the tech. Let's look at some of them. For example, I think Palantir, which is a retail favorite, whatever happened to that, that's been literally cut in half right now, almost. From well, not exactly half, but divided by three from a high of um, 207. Now we're still struggling at 140. And, we could see, I'm going to talk about what Berry did as well. Michael Berry did something interesting as well. We'll see when we get there. So again, recently, look at Hood. I think this is an after hours market. And what did Hood do? It was a huge, huge dump right there, 7%, 150. Hood has literally been cut in half right now. I'm not short on this, by the way, but I think this is one of the clearest, cleanest trade because I put something here in January, put it there in the group. And what did I say? Unfortunately, I'm not going to publish the dates, but I'm going to just put it right there. And I said, look, the evil that will befall Hood will be preached for generations. That's what I said in January. And you can see this has been, I think then it was about 105 and it's been since collapsing. And I just think this is going to go more down a bit more. One thing is, this is a crypto trade, and what is happening to Bitcoin at the moment? We had a pop on Friday, but I did say, like I said yesterday or 2 days ago, are we in a V-term recovery? I don't think so. And Bitcoin ran all the way to 70, 71, but it's been giving it back. But if you look at Bitcoin total, it's been very, very ugly. Year to date, down 20%, 21%. 1 year down 29%. 3 months, 31%. 6 months is 42%. So Bitcoin is ugly. Likewise, Ethereum, and I believe Hood is a crypto play. Another thing is if you look at Credo kind of bounced back today. And this might think so. You might think in parts or in sorts. We get some tech coming back 9%. We have Snow. In fact, we have ON as well, or ON Semiconductors. I can't remember what the full ON stands for. So we had Snow as well. And what do you notice? Trying to bounce back, regain momentum. This is horrible. Huge shellacking. I did talk about Snow dumping at some point in the group. We had Now as well. These are some of the great, great, great companies. I mean, are they going to zero? I don't think so. And what do you see? What do we have there? 106. I mean, look at that from a high of 239. Duolingo as well. If this is going to be a great one, whoever's been buying it back right now, I think they're probably going to be in for a great, great pickup. But not me, I don't try to be a hero. So it's been a choppy market. And I think, is it ALAB? Again, I talked about this pre-earnings. What could I see? This just doesn't look good. Let's see. I put something out there about what I thought of the stock, looking into the earnings. I did say it wasn't convincing for me. And my members in the group was shocked that I wrote that. But let's see what I said. So, this is what I said. A-Lab is not much convincing. It's bearish, though there seems to be more bullish prints. This it's quite funny actually because there seems to be a lot more bullish going into the prints, but as far as I could see, the pattern was just bearish to me. Statement shows it's mixed. If the institutions are against the price action, it's usually for a short term. So I think they're just hedging, but hence, being bullish or staying bullish. So another meaning, don't hold this long time. You might get a quick 15 to 20% move, but it will be short-lived, which is what I said. I believe this is coming down, and right after hours, it did play. So I mean, I'm not always right, but I just thought they ran it into earnings, and they started shortening right after that. So So generally, are we back? I don't think we're back. Majority of tech still very much unloved. They are in focus, but if IGV, which is very important, if IGV, which is what some people are not paying attention to, if IGV, which is the tech software ETF, SCBOE, if that should cross this low, then of course these things going to get a lot horrible. I think, and looking at this right now, it still very much looks like things still going to get a lot messier than we are looking. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But I think there's a lot more coming, and things going to get about to get a lot messier than we shall see. But that's by the way. Also, right. So what was I going to say? If you look at Charles Schwab as well, SCHW, I think it is. There you go. You would not believe what happened today. That was a huge 7% dump. This is literally, something that's meant to be matching the S&P. 7% dump in Charles Schwab. I'm not sure. I think this is also, remember we're talking about, is AI back? Is tech back? Like I said again, don't think so, because now they seem to be concerned about AI. And if Charles Schwab's can be dumping aggressively right there at the peak, okay? Kind of seems as planned, but that's one. And then we had, this is my cheaper version of S&P. S&P Global, that also did oh, look at that, 9% collapse. I did say something about this being an opportunity. So, and I still expect this to go a lot lower, a bit more lower. So this is what I'm saying. This, that you've got the big companies, they are shedding. I think this is mostly because of Moody's, so they had a huge exposure to Moody's. So if the big companies are shedding, then you've got to have a problem. You've got to think there's a problem there. Look at that. Look at Moody's. Moody's is a great company. But again, if you look harder, pardon me. This dump didn't just happen today. You could see the top, the top, the top. So this is like a triple top. It's higher. But I think just as the market has been behaving, I think the warning has been there. The warning has been there. And that's why sometimes you just have to take your cash, go into what is safe. We want to stay bullish, but I don't think I'm able to stay bullish for long. Yes, we have quite a great bullish announcements coming. Kevin Wash, he's going to be cutting rates. Let's just say the economy is doing great, but I don't think it is doing great. And at some point, people are going to position elsewhere. We're just going to have a fluff and bubble in this market. That's something I'm not comfortable with. So, am I going in cash generally? Not really. So I think I'm actually going more into less risky zone. Yes, I'm still trading, but I'm holding majority of my positions in less risky arena. This is not financial advice for anyone at all. While when it comes to the other risky bets, I'm taking very small of them. So less trade, more investing. I think until the road is a lot clearer. But right now, things are not as great, because one thing you also notice is that we are getting great beats in earnings. But what's going on? They are collapsing. I mean, this is another one here. If I forgot to share Monday, look at what happened to Monday. Investors just kind of lost hope, and we had a huge nosedive. There's quite a few of them like that as well. I think we just talked about Palantir. Palantir, we could see lots and lots of selling, minimal buying. Look at what happens to HIMS. I mean, and when you get punished by the market, you get punished aggressively. HIMS as well, you just that it was down yesterday 21% or so. Now again, double down 10%. So, one thing I'm gonna say especially is the market is punishing the the what's it called? The market is punishing the retail favorite. So if you're in one of those retail favorite right now, I think you should start thinking about watching your position, because the market is heavily punishing them. and moving the money into more safety zone. So, but anyway, that's the recap for tonight. I've got to go to bed. It's quite late here. It's about 20 minutes to 1 a.m. And I'm gonna say good luck tomorrow with the trading. Hopefully we catch again on the field. It's a great day. I think one more thing I wanted to mention. Um, let's see. I think there's a print going into tomorrow. Let's just have a look. Just looking at the economics calendar. Let's see. Let's see. I'm just trying to see economic calendar for tomorrow. Okay. Yeah, non-farm payroll tomorrow as well. We have unemployment rates January. So those are key things tomorrow. So again, like I said today, if you are holding huge risky bets, then prayer's not going to save you. And there's just quite a lot of big companies that are just crushing and collapsing right now. People are parking money elsewhere. Moderna recently, just after hours, Moderna as well just did crashed 8%, and this is something that just can't get it right. So Moderna, health tech, and we have them guys which are just can't break out. UNH is one as well. I talk about CNC. There's quite a few of this big guys right there. Just can't break. People are putting money into what they perceive as safe, but those guys are now bubble. By the time that's going to bubble, then money's going to rotate elsewhere. But anyway, got to call it tonight and just call it tonight and call it the night rather. Until tomorrow, guys, I shall see you. Stay safe, stay healthy, and God keep you. Take care. Bye bye.